Alrighty, welcome back everyone to Phasmophobia. Hope you're all having a lovely day. We are going to cover Camp Woodwind in today's hiding guide, the 9th part of this playlist. Camp Woodwind is one of the hardest maps for hiding, and even some of the official hiding spots that are available can be a little sketchy. As always, if you are entering a hiding spot, ensure that your equipment is turned off and that the ghost does not see you enter the hiding spot. Just like the other videos, there will be two parts, the first of which is an overview of the map with all of the hiding spots, and the second part is the gameplay. They are all time-stamped, so you can skip ahead if you like. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so here we are on Camp Woodwind, and as you can see, you might start to see why this might be one of the hardest maps for hiding. But as always, we will start off with the official hiding spots. And so over here is the truck, and you would just enter Camp Woodwind through here. And this spot over here, we'll mention it very quickly. These are often nicknamed the death barrels because oftentimes the ghost wants to set a waypoint in here and you're hiding right here. And that's a problem because the ghost will go into your hiding spot, get line of sight of you, and then get you. So if that spot is available, I would reconsider hiding there. Or if you do choose to hide there, then make sure you have, at the very least, incense on you. This spot over here is okay, but if the ghost does get over into this part of the tent here, then it will see you over top and it will get you. And sometimes the ghost will path in here anyways, but this spot is better if the ghost is on this side of the map here. Then let's go to the little tents here, and there are 2 stars on top of them, and here's why. The purple ones that you do see there are available if the spot is unblocked, but it is not intended. So it will probably get patched in one of the next updates. But what you would do is you would enter either of these tents here while standing up. And basically, you would be completely safe from the hunt. You can have your electronics on, you can get line of sight, the ghost will not get you. But again, this will probably get patched. But if you want to use the tents normally, what you would do is you would crouch and enter the tent and make sure the door is closed. Do not hold the door closed because what will happen is the ghost will sense that you are there and it will get you. And the same thing can be said for this tent over here. And then beside the blue tent over here is the coolers, and that spot is okay. Sometimes the ghost will path in here and it will see you, but it doesn't happen nearly as often as the death barrels over here. And this spot over here can be pretty dangerous if you're dealing with a really fast ghost. Let's say you're using the circle over here and the ghost is a Thay. What tends to happen is the ghost will sometimes path over here, overshoot, slam into that tent there, and then get line of sight of you and then get you. But otherwise, that spot is pretty okay. This spot over here is a little sketchy, but it's nowhere near as bad as the death barrels, and same thing over here. However, keep in mind, if the ghost is in the picnic area over here, or even in this white tent here, and rarely in the yellow or the blue tent, then sometimes what would happen is the ghost will make a waypoint over here, and then it will see you and then get you. So be careful if you are hiding here. And then the yellow tent here, there is some sleeping bags just kind of set up like this, and there's kind of one on top. And you would just squish yourself in there and you'll be relatively safe. This spot used to be a little better because the player models weren't as big, but otherwise I still feel pretty safe in that spot. And then we will go to the unofficial spots, and things are looking a little grim. And you really only have 3 options that are okay, and they are not the best options. Let's start off with this food tent over here. Now, all that gets removed is some bins on the table there, and that's really about it. You can hide in here and you'll still be relatively safe. However, a flaw with this spot is if the ghost gets too close, then it will see you over top of the table and it will get you. The bathroom stalls over here, they can work if you're in a pinch, but sometimes the ghost will go inside of the stalls and it will get you. And if you are hiding in the bathroom stalls, just do not hold the door shut because the ghost will detect you. And then these tents over here, you can actually hold them closed in on yourself like closet doors. And I will show you that in the gameplay. Just keep in mind, if you're holding the tent door shut on yourself and the ghost is nearby, then it will detect that you are present at that tent and it will get you there. So be careful if you are choosing to do that. And also, if you are holding the door closed, the ghost going into the washroom here and sometimes the red tent can be a little sketchy, but it is still possible to block the red tent and the washroom sidelines. This spot here does the same thing. You just close the tent door on yourself and it works just like this one over here. But this one is a little harder to master because if the ghost is coming through here, then you might have a difficult time to block line of sight and it will also probably get you. So if you had to choose a tent, I would choose this one over here. And then lastly, you can hide behind these picnic tables over here, and it does block line of sight if you are on this side of the picnic table. So if the ghost is just wandering aimlessly over here, then you should be pretty safe. However, if the ghost spawns like over here, or even right here, or even in the white tent, then what tends to happen is it will path over here and you will either have to loop the ghost or cleanse the ghost. And then let's go into the gameplay and see how all of these spots perform. Alright, so here we are on Camp Woodwind, and we'll start off with the worst official hiding spot on this map, and that is this. So what you would normally do is you would just hide in this corner here beside the barrels here, and that should protect you from the ghost. But there is a problem. What tends to happen is the ghost likes to path into this spot here, and then it gets line of sight of you. Hey, look, a person. I'm gonna get you, and you're dead. And there is a reason why the community named this spot the Death Barrels. So I do not recommend hiding here, even if it is available. And if you do choose to hide here, bring an incense on you. Then we'll go over here to the food tent, and there is another official hiding spot right here. It is not the best. Sometimes the ghost likes to path in here, especially if the ghost is in that tent over there. This also works as an unofficial hiding spot, and we'll get to that later. The two best official hiding spots on this map are actually these tents. So what you would do is you just go into the tent and then close the door. That's it. Make sure your electronics are off and you're pretty much safe. Now, what I have noticed lately is during a hunt, the ghost doesn't seem to interact with these small tent doors over here. So you should be pretty safe in these spots here. However, if the ghost does somehow open it, I'd quickly close it, but don't hold the door shut, because what will happen is the ghost will detect that you are present in the tent. Or if you want to upgrade the spot, and this is probably going to get patched soon, is you can just walk into the tent like this, just standing, and you just created yourself a safe spot. Just as long as the spot is available, you can do that. And the same can be said for this tent over here. You can just walk in standing, and you will be safe from the ghost. Or if you do not want to cheese the hunt, then you can just close the door like this, and you should be relatively safe. Then we have these coolers over here, which is probably one of the better furniture hiding spots on this map. The ghost does sometimes go into this spot here, but nowhere near as often as the death barrels over there. So if this spot is available, you can hide here and be reasonably confident about it. This spot here is a little sketchy at times. It's better than the death barrels, but it's not as good as the coolers in the middle here, because sometimes the ghost likes to path in here randomly. Whereas I find that the ghost paths in here randomly less often. And then over here in the yellow tent, there are some sleeping bags just on its side here, and you can just squish yourself in here and be relatively safe. This actually used to be slightly better before the player models got bigger, but even then, it's still relatively okay, and you should still be relatively safe in this hiding spot. And now we will go into the unofficial hiding spots, and we'll see how they all work. Alright, so here we are on Camp Woodwind, and all of the official hiding spots have been disabled. So where do we hide now? Now, you do still have some options available, and we'll show you those now. So this picnic table is an okay looping spot. However, keep in mind that if you are on this side of the picnic table, or even on this side of the picnic table, the ghost will not get line of sight of you if you are crouching. However, if you are on these sides of the picnic table, where the benches are, and this side too, then the ghost will see you over top of the table and will get line of sight of you. So keep that in mind. And same thing with this picnic table here. And then if you are trying to run away from the ghost, you can loop around these tents here, and you should be somewhat okay. But if it is a fast ghost, then it might be pretty difficult. And you can kind of do the same thing here, but you just have to make sure the ghost doesn't get line of sight of you already. This is a pretty tough spot to master, so use this at your own risk. And then these little tents here, you actually used to be able to fly into the sky, kind of like this, but that's long been patched now, so you're not able to do that anymore. But there are still options with these tents here, and I will demonstrate this with the blue tent because this one's going to be a bit better than the orange one. So what you would do is you would just kind of block yourself off like this, and as long as the ghost is far away and it is not near you or going to the washroom, then you'll be somewhat safe. This kind of acts like the closet doors on like Tanglewood, Edgefield, or Ridgeview. The difference between those doors and this one is if the ghost is close by, then it will know that you are holding the door closed and it will check it out. Whereas on the closet doors or the locker doors, the ghost doesn't seem to care if you're holding it or not. And you can do the same thing with the orange tent here. However, if the ghost comes from the left side there, then it will get line of sight of you easily. And another benefit with these tent doors here is you can get a bit of a visual of the ghost as well. So you can get like Oni blinks or phantom blinks or Obake shapeshifts if you want from this. But keep in mind that if the ghost does go near you, then you're in a bit of danger. And then the bathroom over here, you do have these bathroom stalls that you can hide in, and what you would do is you would just close the door, and you should be somewhat safe. Just keep in mind that the ghost sometimes checks inside of these stalls here, and it will get you that way. And same can be said for this stall over here. And then over here, in the food tent, you can still hide here, and even though these bins are gone, this does block line of sight. And another benefit with this table over here is you can get a visual of the ghost as well. You can remove these little cans here and objects, and you can get an even better visual that way. That being said, if the ghost does get too close, then it will see you over top of the spot here, and it will get you. And this spot over here, whether the bins are here or not, just make sure you're not using the circle here and then going to the spot here, because oftentimes the ghost will go into your hiding spot and get you. So if you are lighting the circle here, then you will have to go elsewhere. And that is it for Camp Woodwind. Just like in the other hiding guides, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down below and I will answer them as soon as I can. The next map we will cover is Maple Lodge, which will be the better of the two campsites in terms of hiding. So stay tuned for that. That is all that I have for you for today. Hope that this was helpful and informative, and until then, I'll see you next time.